All right, as always, a lot of garbage to swim through, and we're gonna swim hard. Um, I shared something that I always want to get your thoughts on, see what you think. With the Trump mobilizing the National Guard into certain states, and I think I wrote when I shared this like, "F, this is bad." That's all I wrote, which I couldn't
Yeah.
didn't really know what I was thinking there. Don't really know what to derive from that. But I followed up on the article and I read some of the stuff you wrote too, which is like there is a way to sidestep to do this, and then they probably do it in Republican states because they're still under state authority. But obviously, Republican governors will just be like, what do you want to do, Trump? We'll just tell them what you want to do. Um, so I get that. I more wanted to focus on, and there's a lot more to say even about like how I feel about this or whatever, but I wanted to focus on like why they're doing this and what's their justification. And we all know it's crime, right? Did I read that? Did you also read this and have some thoughts and like took away crime? Um,
Crime and assisting ICE, essentially.
yeah, but they don't say they're gonna assist ICE, right? What they do is they say, "Oh, there's this crime and it needs to like we have to like do this,"
Yes.
and then they just
Yeah.
when they're there they don't do shit. But yeah, assist ICE, which I think is correct. But it just sucks because you know, obviously not everybody gives a shit about data and data collection, but everywhere you look, like crime spiked a little bit in 2020 for I think obvious reasons in my mind, and then it's been coming down ever
Sure.
since, and it's at all-time lows on the same trajectory of like the last 40 years since we got rid of leaded gas. So you do the math, whoever the fuck is listening to this. But anyways, um, just sucks because they're just the crime. It's just not a thing. And so, that's where ultimately I feel not good about this because they're just, and we'll say it all the time here in our discussions. There's no end if they're just willing to just do something that obviously makes no sense and is a lie to just be able to get people places. I just don't know. I shouldn't say there's no end. We don't have to fearmonger about it too much, but there's more that they would do. You would think, right? Um,
As far as
just
as
militarizing
what?
streets anywhere, however they want, looking for whatever they want to look for.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great precedent to set, that's for sure. Especially because, and I posted that Substack article where it was just
Yeah.
sort of a brief snapshot of when the National Guard has been federalized before. And there's definitely a lot of incidents where you understand the necessity for it. Actually, most of them you kind of understand the necessity for it, especially because at these points the president actually had to federalize the National Guard, whereas what Trump is doing is he's kind of
Yeah.
federalizing it, but not really.
Right.
Um, it was definitely necessary. Whereas in this case, I don't know. I mean, if you have a problem with crime in states, like wouldn't you work to change the law if you think that that's what's failing you, rather than just mobilize the military to just roll jeeps around city streets? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's not a great precedent. Why aren't you working with the police in those particular states then to change stuff? Why are the guardsmen necessary? And I'm kind
Too many
of more and more on the
questions.
side of what's that?
Too many questions. Too many questions, dude.
Well, I'm kind of more and more on the side of this is a distraction from Epstein. Now, there could be people like Stephen Miller, who I'm absolutely certain has some part in this, all this fuckery, uh, that have more nefarious intentions. But I feel like Trump loves this because A, makes him look tough on crime, and B, he gets to just distract further from the very big story that wouldn't go away a few weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, speculating where I think this comes from, Epstein, dude. I think Trump thinks he's untouchable. I don't think he gives a shit about Epstein. I don't think he
You don't think he was
cares.
sweating that at all?
No, he doesn't give a fuck. He can get away with whatever he wants. He just got a civil $500 million case, which was a cut and dry case. There's actual evidence of deep fraud, just tossed out. Like he he thinks he can get away with anything, man. I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. Why would he be scared of anything at all?
So what do you think his intentions is with this? Because you don't. Do you think
he's asleep at the wheel? He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. I'm kind of open to the idea that he might run again because he can do whatever he wants. But I think at this point he'll still step aside. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to do anything anymore. And then the Stephen Millers and whoever else is in there cook up this idea to make it easier to deport people and to get those numbers up. So I'm with you from where you said in the beginning. And that's what it is. But and Trump
so you're saying,
yeah, go ahead. Trump is outsourcing everything. He fucking doesn't give a shit.
Sure. So he's just co-signing this. This isn't his brainchild. He is just
I'm sure they still got to come across with him, come across to him about it. But I mean, Trump knows how to not bite the hand that feeds. He knows what's
like you're saying. They still have to. So you think they're feeding him a narrative for him to just co-sign whatever the fuck they're doing?
Correct. Because ultimately, Stephen Miller is a racist bastard, and whoever else is doing this, they just want to throw people out. Yeah.
Stephen Miller is a skinwalker. He has snatched somebody's body, and he's just the fucking. Have you ever watched him give an interview? I watched him give an interview on Fox News a few days ago, and
it's very uncomfortable. I don't do that. I avoid that.
He looks like somebody pretending to be a person. He looks like somebody pretending to be a person. I don't understand it.
I saw his wife watch the podcast. We wish her well, but it's very uncomfortable. So yeah, that's just that's where I'm at with this. It's just Trump doesn't care. He's just like, go ahead. What I'm kind of confused about is, in my theory, why doesn't he think of any risks? I don't know. I think he just doesn't care so much. I don't know.
Trump?
Yeah.
Well, if what you're saying is true, there is no risk. Nobody's going to do anything about the bullshit that he's doing.
Yes, that's true. I guess risk in terms of how he looks, he'll always care about that, and what his legacy is, he'll always care about that. I don't.
Yeah, but
I guess
his supporters. He's so balls deep on his supporters, they can always justify what they're doing. They can always justify it. Like I told you, I think I wrote here in this the little blurb I had, because I see a lot of MAGAs they're elated by this. They love that they're rolling around in DC and arresting people for smoking in public.
MAGAs are unserious people. Trump could do something, and any Democrat could do the exact same thing, and they would say, "Oh, that's bad." They're not serious, right? So that's why.
And I don't think they care that inconsistency exists either. They don't care. To
why
them,
would they?
MAGA is a means to an end. So if we do what we have to do, and it's clearly unconstitutional, it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
Which is, it's just crazy. Because you're just setting yourself up for the next blue president, if that ever happens, to just steamroll you under these same powers. I don't know in what, shape or form that would look like, but...
Yeah, I look forward
to... Obviously not going to be the National Guard. Yeah, go ahead.
I look forward to a MAGA getting triggered by that and in the comments being like, I have principles, I have the Bible. Okay, sure.
So let me ask you this then. If this is the brainchild of Stephen Miller, what's his end game here? Is this just setting a precedent?
What is his end game? There's a bunch of documentaries on him, like I think independent media done online. I've never really watched one. I have seen clips of him over the years where he's in high school being the same ghoul, saying the same ghoulish things. I've seen that.
True.
So I don't know. I just think he's a racist. I haven't heard of any other reason to implement a strategy that would get non-criminal immigrants thrown out, especially ones who participate. It's said time and time again. Why are we throwing out people who do not have a criminal history and participate in society in positive, meaningful ways? Why would you do that? Because racist.
It's the great replacement, right? Yeah.
Because you're right. Because you're a fucking racist.
It's the great replacement. Yeah.
Right.
I do think Stephen Miller is very clear in his end game. He is just a Timu Joseph Goebbels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what do you think that if this is him pushing this, what is the end game? Like, what is the chess move here? What is this for? Because this is just so unnecessary, and there's not a lot of precedent for this.
I just think he blindly believes in his beliefs so much. But you're right. But then that begs the question again, like, It couldn't just
What
be
does
that
this
he's racist
accomplish?
then. Yeah, what? Because like, I mean, of course, we're missing the one thing that's always obvious with anybody. Just self-promotion and being famous and being involved in these decisions could drive your ego. Jesus, can I just use the... I mean, I'm a smooth brain too, homie. But your ego, right? He gets to participate in the government.
Making
be
history.
high up. Well, and, you know, some people just want to make history, whether it's good or bad.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 Well, I've just
It
seen
is
a lot of
strange to think
speculation
about,
that
though.
this is setting the precedent for having military in U.S. streets, like city streets. And obviously, that's a little tinfoil hat, because people are like,
Not
well,
in the sense
when
that they'll
Trump...
help ICE out. Not in the sense that they'll help ICE out. I don't think.
No, they're saying in the sense of when Trump declares martial law and suspends election.
I
You
don't
have...
know. That's
Right.
Why would they push for the next topic then? And we'll get there. Why would they care if that was the plan? I guess you don't you don't want to look like it, but yeah, I don't know about that.
And it's just funny
I will
too,
say
because...
I don't ever write anything off with this again, administration, but I don't think anyone should.
Well, especially if
I
it's
don't
Stephen
feel
Miller.
like
I think if Stephen Miller of the
Sure.
world would be perfectly happy to completely subvert democracy in the United States. He would be happy to do that if you gave him the power. Day one, he's doing that. He is that kind of person.
Again, in service of what? Just because you're racist? That feels too simple, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. He
Feels
wants...
too simple. Oh,
he-
ego for sure too. But go ahead. Sorry, we talked about this.
I think in his perfect world, we live under a Christian theocracy, and the
That's
majority
so
of
weird.
the
Is he
population
religious?
is white European.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
you don't have to
but...
be religious to be a freaking white nationalist. You know what I'm saying? You do not.
Even if he wasn't religious at all, he's the type of person that believes in, Christianity underpins the moral fabric of the West, and we have to subscribe to
Go off, Jordan Peterson. But yeah, you're right.
hierarchy and systems of power, and it's the only thing that orients us in space and how to move forward through history and time. He 100% is co-signing all of that for sure, especially because it gives him, more power to be racist. Because if you can capture the evangelical right in this country, you can flex a lot of power.
Yeah. It's always fascinating thinking about people's motivations and wondering what they are. So, yeah.
All right,
it's not a
I'm
great
just
dig
trying
on
to
ghouls, but I saw something too. It was like some headline. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It was like Kamala said Trump police in streets.
Strats?
Dude,
Dude, he's struggling. He's
dude, 100%, 100%.
struggling. Long day.
I just saw this meme and I didn't fact check it because sorry, I'm me. Go fact check your own stuff, MAGA. Absolute drooling pieces. Anyways,
Go fact yourself. Yep.
Kamala said some offhand stupid comment at the time during the campaign, oh, Trump's gonna put police people in the streets and some sort of comment like that. And someone wrote an article at the time, probably immediately after she said it, and was like, what a lie this is. This isn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of shit like that for this and all kinds of stuff. Not
well,
that
technically she was wrong, because he's putting military in the streets, so it's even worse.
Sure, it's the other way. It's actually worse. Worse.
Which,
Not
to
great.
the surprise
Not
of
great.
nobody, by the way, that Trump is worse this time around.
No, 100%. 100%.
Certainly not with me, I suppose I should say.
Yeah, we just got to sign off on this. I feel like every time on this with
Well,
you know what? I'm going to take a brave stance here. I'm going to take a brave stance. Are you ready?
Do it.
Even if there's a
Do it,
criminal
brother.
history, as long as it's non-violent and they work or they have family here or they whatever cultural relevance they might have, then don't deport them. That's dumb. That's
Sure.
dumb. So, brave stance because we have a lot of xenophobic folks out there. I see you. I see you. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is the real conversation needs to be had about the process
Yeah.
of coming into this country legally.
Sure.
Because I was kind of trolling you the other day a little bit, but there is some truth to the idea
Go
that
ahead.
if you are in this country working as an illegal, you are you're just open for work abuse. Very easily.
True. From a
Because
workers'
all it takes is
rights
one phone call.
perspective, that is correct. But also, and I've told you this in the past, balance that with that risk, and even with that risk, they make more money than where they came from, right? So it's a complicated world.
100%.
It's a complicated world.
Yeah, I mean...
But you're right. You're right. If you're willing to work, you should have guaranteed rights. That goes for any human being, in my mind. That is correct.
It's funny. It's funny you say that too, because when I had texted you that, trolling you about
I trolled you back,
workers'
probably,
rights abuse,
but sure.
you did, you did. But that's the point.
I remember this. But go ahead, yeah.
I then started Googling like articles about, worker abuse for illegals in the U.S. and the best I could find, which to be fair is not nothing, but people obviously with no protection. So if you get hurt on the job, like that's just it for you. But it had mentioned in the article they made somewhere along the lines of $15 an hour, which has to still be far and away way more money than where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So even being exploited in this country is still more lucrative than...
That's higher minimum wage than a lot of states. Now, that doesn't mean it's an actual wage that a lot of people get paid at, because there's so much pressure on getting paid more. You can only do so much if you don't want to... I mean, you're still destroying and tarnishing workers' rights because you're scum and you're not paying enough, but yeah, minimum wage is like, I think it's still $7.25 technically in some places, which is wild. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I guess my point was more, if you're from Colombia and you're here legally, even if you have no workers' rights, no protection, but you're making $15 an hour, you're still making out way better than you would at home. You know what I mean? So...
True.
But anyways,
and I think too that angle is not to say that people should be like deported because they're working here illegally. That's not right. That's not what you're saying. You're just saying that's a different way of thinking about.
Well, I'm saying the real conversation to have is how do you figure out people working here legally easier?
People who participate, I think. And look, dude, any person who's good faith, whether or not they're left or right, would give you, I would think, generally the same answer, where it's like, you need to have a robust legal immigration system that it brings in, like, at least enough people that we're replacing, like, population. Like, not even replacing population, but continuing growth, because that'll just help the economy. It just does. I'm not going to sit here and be a capitalistic... get out there, produce people. That's not me at all. I'm just saying, like, you do that, but you also, like, do better with the border. Like, secure it more in a realistic way. Not a fucking wall, but with technology. Like, what are we doing here? Stupid-ass wall, painting it black, and then putting that shit all over, like, the press leads. Like, who gives a crap? Like, what?
What a waste of fucking money, by the way. What an absolute
And then, by the way,
waste
you
of
also...
money.
I don't mind, like... it gets a little tricky saying this because it's definitely like against my libertarian feelings, but I don't mind like trying to find those after you do both those things. If you shore that up a little more, and you're very liberal with your immigration flow, enough so that you can continue reasonable growth in society. I don't mind going and finding the ones that did get in here illegally before, but if they're contributing or culturally relevant in any way, like, you make them actual citizens, man. And then you get rid of the violent ones. That's all wrapped up in a fucking gumdrops and rainbows world, but like, find me anyone who's in good faith going to listen to that and be like, "Oh, I don't like that." It's like, who's going to... Nobody. That's what you should do.
I don't know.
We can quibble over how much liberalism on the immigration flow you want. I would be very high, but go ahead.
Sure. I think what most people would agree with would be to give them easier, like, visa access at the least. I don't know if you'd find a lot of people agreeing with them becoming citizens. That's definitely not
just more people who are coming and contributing their skills to our society in positive ways. That's good. And by the way, when I say skills, some people are weird about it and they only want higher level people. No, people are more than welcome to come and do any level, because if you work, that's a skill. I don't care how stupid your job is. If you work, that's good. In general. Come on now. We're not shaming non-workers. We get it on certain things. But Yeah, if you work, that's good. So I don't give a fuck. Just figure it out. This reminds me of the conversation we had about like everybody wants a more efficient government. Even like I would assume most leftists. It just depends on how you do it, how you frame it, what you're doing. It's like if I can have less workers deliver the same amount of benefits, now we're just passing more on to the benefits, which you should be trying to do in the first place. What are we doing here? Anyways, common sense doesn't matter. Nobody cares. All right.
The world is a loss. This is a fallen world. You've heard it here first.
There you go.
Sponsored by A Fallen World.
Oh, yeah, and then here's Brendan's Substack where he talked about those presidents in the past that used the National Guard. Hey, we wish... Actually, we don't. We wish Trump to hell.
Oh, you should read that. Oh,
I did.
Who is this? You know who this is?
I don't know. Who's Brendan? I don't know. Brendan
Oh, you were just saying that tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, it says Brendan's Substack at the top. That's why. It's not tongue-in-cheek. It's Brendan
yeah.
at the top,
I
dude.
see. I thought
What are
you
we
knew
doing here?
he was like leaning. I don't know. I thought you knew
I
him
did scroll
somehow.
down and you probably didn't see. No, I did say it like that, but that's the man calls it his name. So
You should read that actually when you get a minute. It's pretty interesting, the history of...
I read it, at least a few of them. I think up to...
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so you kind of get the vibes of like...
Oh, yeah.
I get when this would be necessary, and all the more reason why what Trump is doing now is absurd.
Again, it's all about...
And
What
also,
are we talking
before-
about? What are we talking about, especially when it comes to free speech even? It's all about non-violence. If violence starts to happen, it's unacceptable. If people are dying, that's unacceptable. Like, something has to be done. So
Sure.
that's the vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
It's funny to me that they're saying they're there to assist with... The National Guard is there to assist with ICE, because they just gave ICE just an absolute bullshit mountain of money. Why do they need the fucking National Guard?
No, I'm
you
glad you
have
brought that
all
up.
the money you could ever need.
Yeah, I'm glad you
somebody
slipped
mentioned
that in
that
right at
the
Yeah.
that ICE now has a bigger budget than the Marines do.
Yeah, they do.
Which is
They had like an $8 billion before, and then they were given like 160 in the BBB. And now it's probably spread out over years, but they were given an absurd amount of money. It doesn't matter. Let's not even split hairs about it. An absurd amount of money. So it's just such a good. It's just such a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, and we're always on the same page with this. But we'll say out loud, like they never make it make sense. It's so easy to check under the hood, especially with this blatant like disregard from even caring about hiding things with this administration. It's so you don't even have to look under the hood. Just look at what they're telling you. Like they don't give a shit. They think they either think you're dumb or you're just gonna go along with it. They don't care. One of the two, man. One of the two. Okay. Anyways.